Welcome to the shadowbox ornament tutorial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be going over the construction of how to make one of the ornaments, alright, where there is a shadow box inside of the actual ornament. So what you're going to need material wise is first you're going to need the cut file. Okay, within the cut file, you're going to have your SVG, PNG, DXF, PDF, and a JPEG. For either your silhouette, unless you have basic edition, or your Cricut, you're going to need the SVG. And you're going to cut that file out. Some setting recommendations for what I use for my silhouette machine. I use the Cardstock Textured Heavy. And then I increase the pressure to either 4 or 5 depending on actually how dull my blade is. So what your settings are going to be is a pressure of 4, speed of 4, force of 33, and a pass of 1. The other thing that I do is I turn on the line segment overcut. It's kind of like that weird triangle thing that's going to be on the right hand side to all of those cut settings. And then if you're using a Cricut, for my maker, I use the Cardstock intricate cuts, and I just increase the pressure. However, some people have found that that doesn't give them the best cuts, so some other recommendations have been the washi tape setting, as well as the poster board setting, but each machine is different. So you're going to have to figure out what cut settings work best for your machine. So besides cutting out your file with either your silhouette or your Cricut or hand cut, what you're going to need is a plastic ornament ball, okay? This one, the ones that open up so you can put contents in them. This is an 80 millimeter or about 3-inch plastic ball, okay? And the measurements that you're given in the file, because as you know, for some reason my SVGs open super tiny in Cricut, so the measurements to make the whole square are for an 80 millimeter or 3-inch ball. You'll just need to adjust those settings if you're using a larger 4-inch plastic ornament ball. The other things that you're going to need are some cardstock. As you guys all know, I use the Michaels brand, the Michaels Recollections brand, okay? This is from Michaels. I use both the white cardstock, and then I also have a pack kind of like rainbow, and that's what I cut any sort of overlay pieces out with. You're also going to need something to hang your ornament ball from. I've been using ribbon, but you can use all different types of material, whatever you want to use to have it hang from. And then any sort of embellishments if you want to add, fake greenery, that sort of thing. So those are the 3 things you're going to need, other than just some sort of glue to attach everything together. Because I needed to glue together super quickly, I just use hot glue for all these tutorials, and I'm just comfortable using it. But any sort of scrapbooking glue will work as well. All right, so let's get started. So I have already cut out all of my pieces, and what you're going to get is 4 round circles. 4 round circles, I promise. There we go. So you're going to get 4 round circles. You're also going to have 24 of these little strips, okay? And then for this particular file, in order to make the truck stand out, you'll need to cut it out of colored paper, and you're going to have each one of these little tiny pieces, okay? So next step is you're going to take these little strips, and your little strip, you're going to fold it along the perforation lines. I don't know how well you guys can see, but there's 3 perforation lines. You're just going to fold it into a square, okay? And then you're going to glue in between these pleats. There's 2 on one side, 1 on the other side. So then your end result is going to be a little square, all right, that doesn't open up. So I have 3 left to do, so we'll quickly glue these together. but I've done the other 21 of them. Oh, geez Louise. Oh, my lights, I was like, what is on my hot glue gun cord that I can't go very far? There we go. All right. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue in there and just fold it. Just a smidge will do the trick. Fold it down into a square. So there's one. And here's another one. I just kind of pre-fold. And then in all those little pleats, just stick a little bit of glue. Fold down. A little bit of glue. Fold down. A little bit of glue. Maybe strings will get off my fingers. And then I'm just going to do the last one. All right. So the next step is that if there's any sort of colored overlay pieces, not all the files have that, what you're going to do is then attach it to that layer. So in this case, it's going to be my truck layer. So all I do is take my little colored pieces, and I just have a regular glue stick, okay? And I'm just going to then put some glue on the back. Maybe. And I'm just going to glue my overlay directly on top. All right. And then next step, I'm going to do the tree. Just make sure we're all going in the right direction. Put a little bit of glue on the back. Glue into place. For this particular file, it's important that you glue the truck down first and then, because the tree kind of hangs over a little bit. And then we're just going to glue the tires on. There's one. Glue on the back of that, and then the second tire on. All right, so then you have your 4 pieces. They're all ready to go. And then we have our 24 little spacers, okay? So as always, you start with the back. That's piece number 1. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue 8 of these evenly around the border. I'm using my cardinal directions, okay, for placement. So north, south, east, west, and then your northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, okay? So what I typically do is I start by putting the, your normal cardinal directions on north, south, east, west, and then I fill evenly in between them, okay? And that will get you, my finger got that one. Even, the key is just getting even placement around the actual border. And I'm just lining it up with the edge, if you can see. So it's just getting lined up with the edge there. Okay. And then we'll finish this. We'll get 8 of them around and I'll show you what it looks like. last one. So there you go. You can see there's 8 of them all around there. So the next step is then to glue your next layer on top. All right. So how I do that is I start by lining up the piece that's in the north position at the very, very, very top. Okay. So I line my pieces up. I put a smidge of glue on that little top block. And then I just line the whole thing up and glue that one down first. All right. And then I work my way around, gluing it down to the rest of them. All right. So there we go. There is 2 layers. So then what we're going to do is we're going to then put our next layer on. Okay, our next layer of these little spacers. What I do is I line them up with the one that you laid on that first layer. See if you guys can see. All right, you're just going to match them up. And you're just going to work your way around. All right, you guys can see we have all 8 around. Okay, so then we're going to attach our next layer, which is the truck. Okay, this would be on the thing layer 3. And what you're going to do again is I just start with the one in the north position, put a little bit of glue, and line it on up. A little glue dab. Just line up. Just line up the best you can. And then we'll just put a little bit of glue on all the other ones. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera. Cool. Sorry guys, I know it's rocking. All right, so there's 3 of the layers, 1 more layer to go. Super easy, super quick. So again, I'm lining up one of my folded squares. Usually I start at the top at north. All right, so then I get, oops, sorry guys. You see 3 layers. All right, so then I'm gonna put my 8 around, lining them up with the pre-existing square. And just working my way around. And down. So he has enough glue stick. 2 more. There we go. All right. So we just have to put the top on. Okay. So like all the previous layers, I will line it up, putting glue first on the top. There we go. And then just work my way around, gluing it down to each one of the paper folded spacers. All right, there you go. So this is your completed little paper shadow box. So the next step is to put it inside of your ball. So all you do, pop it open. I line up north, the top, with the, you know, where your ribbon and all goes through that you hang it from. Super easy, okay? And then I line up the top, pop together. Super easy, right guys? Then I kind of shift the knob a little bit to one side, and then I take a little bit of hot glue. This is just so it doesn't pop open, okay? And then I just slide it over, wipe up all my excess, all right? And there we go. So there's your completed ball. I'm just gonna do a quick showing of how I did my bow for the actual ball. Sorry guys, I'm grabbing scissors. Things you don't put near you and then I bump everything. All right, so first thing I do is I take my ribbon, and it's 2 loops, and I always measure the largest loop first and just see what's going to look good, because you don't want it too big, you don't want it, you know, too large. So right about there looks good. So I'm then going to cut that piece of ribbon, and that's going to be my outer loop, okay? And then what I do is I take a little bit of glue, okay, put it on one end, and bring the other end to it, and just glue together, so then you have one big circle, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is take the middle of my loop and then glue it to where I just glued those 2 ends together. So I just put a little bit of glue on the inside where the 2 pieces come together and just fold my middle into it, okay? That's a little off, but. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is do the inner loop, okay? So I just kind of, again, eyeball. I put a loop inside of my bow. I don't know how well you guys can see. And I see where about I want it to hit, and that looks good. So then I'm going to cut again. Put a little bit of glue on the outside here. Glue those 2 together. And then again on the inside where I just put those 2 ends together, I'm going to put a little bit of glue and press down that middle section. There we go. So the next step is you need to make these little pieces that come off. So how I do that is I fold it in the ribbon in half, like so, And I see about where I want it to hit, probably about there is good. And then I cut my ribbon. Oops, sorry guys, keep hitting that. And then I'm going to fold and glue it down like a triangle. Okay, so it looks kind of like this. All right. So what I do is I just put a whole bunch of glue in the middle, roughly where the middle is, just kind of like a block. And then I fold my two ends. So then I get a piece that looks like this. All right. And this piece is going to get glued on the back, okay? So your next step is to glue all three of these pieces together, okay? Lining up the middle. So typically I start by gluing the two loops together first. Make sure that the pieces with your ends are towards the back. Even though you're gonna put something over it, it doesn't, just still makes it look a little nice, all right? So then you have your two loops together. And then we're gonna attach the piece to the back, like so. So just put a little bit of glue on the back. And put the triangle, line that up with the middle. Okay, there's the back side. And there's gonna be your front. So the next step is to put the piece that wraps around the center. All right. So what I do is on the back side, so the piece where your triangle ends are coming out, put a little bit of glue on there, put my end down, and then I just wrap around, like so. And then I just see where I need to cut on the back, and cut the ribbon off. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue to seal that shut. All right, so there is your bow. And then I just kind of puff out my pieces a little bit. All right, so next step is to attach it to the actual ball, okay? So all I do is put a little glue on where the little hook thing is on the plastic, and I just put the bow on, okay? Some glue on there, and put my bow on. And then I glued down these sides on this original, if you can see. I glued down these just to kind of hold them in place. So what I did first was just kind of see where I liked them. And then I cut them on a diagonal with the point facing towards the back, where I liked it. And then I just put a little bit of glue down on the crease, and that'll also help keep your ball together. And just glued in place like so. Maybe. Hard thing is then your little strings get stuck to the ball, so you just gotta rub them off. They rub off. All right, and then we'll do the other side. I just kind of eyeball where about it is. I cut the diagonal with the point to the back. And then just put a little bit of glue on the crease. Just a little dollop just to glue my ribbon down. All right. There we go. All right. So the last step is to add your hanger, okay? So what I did was took another piece of ribbon and I just kind of eyeballed about how long I wanted it, okay? And then I cut off my ribbon. And then you're gonna make it kind of like a hook like this. So then I just put some glue at the bottom and glued these two together. Okay. All right, there we go. And then this just got then glued onto the back here. All right. So if you can see. So we're just going to put some glue on the back of the ornament hook, and we're just going to glue on the hook. So, and then we'll put a little bit on the bow in front. Just so then it glues onto there and kind of encloses that hook. All right. And there you go. There's your completed ornament. Super, super easy. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And then if you guys have any questions, comments, anything, just let me know. And as always, the material list is in the description with link, I believe, just to the plastic ornament balls on Amazon. All right.